Hi, welcome to my channel and to my very first video. This video is going to be my process of making my second 6-day star blanket. And this is a Halloween themed one. I've used the Hobbii Halloween Horizon in the colour, I think it was 02. I got 4 cakes of them. I've recorded the process throughout. It has taken me a little while. It didn't take 6 days. I started this on the 8th or 9th of October, I think, and I finished it just a couple days ago on the 29th, working on it here and there. So I don't actually know how long it's taken me in terms of like hours, but it's definitely been a few days and a few evenings. There's also been a few hours of yarn untangling, so that's been fun. So yeah, let's just get into it. Let's get started. So I've just finished the first cake of the first cake of the Hobbii Halloween Horizon. This is where we're at. I lost count of how many rows this is. I was going to try and keep track of how many rows I could do with each cake of yarn. But I do want to keep track of how much it grows with each cake. So far, this is the size we're at. I will take a measurement from corner to corner, maybe even like from the center to the edge to see how big this is. Yeah, we've made it to a point. Oh, sugar, I've just unraveled some of it because I didn't put a stitch marker in it. Bear with, let me just fix that. This is how much I had left, okay, which isn't enough to finish this corner. So I need to join another one. And before I join another one, I had to do the update. Another thing as well, the point where I've stopped, right at the end here, you can see this is one row and the row below it is the exact same colour. So it's changed literally right at the end here, and I've had to do 6 clusters in that one colour. So I don't know whether I'm gonna undo that and add the yarn here so I don't have that like double row, because I don't think there's anywhere else that has like managed to fall onto the exact same colour. I might go back a little bit. I guess it depends what colour the next one starts with, because I have 3 more of these. So these are like 200 grams. Yeah, these are 200 grams. And I used 4 of them to make the blanket this size, which is like a really nice size to just like, this covers me completely. It's a good size, which is why I've bought 4 of these. So yeah, I'm gonna put this down, or I'm gonna take a measurement, and then I'm gonna join the next ball and see how much bigger we can make it. So I've laid it out and I've set a tape measure from the center here to one of the points, and this is coming in at about 45 centimeters for one cake of yarn. I also just turned it over. One ball of yarn measures about 17 inches, if you would like to know the inches instead of the centimeters. Hello, I'm going to do a bit of an update. This is where we are at so far. I have this much left of this ball, but I'm currently battling this knotted mess, which I have to untangle before I can continue. I've been sat here for about 30 minutes already, gradually making my way through this. Untangling yarn is probably one of my least favourite parts of this, and this is the second ball. The very first ball that I used, it arrived kind of messed up a little bit. I don't know if these are supposed to be centre pull or not. but the way that I started the yarn created this horrendous knotted mess, and it just kept going, just kept knotting more. With the help of my mum, it took us about an hour and 45 minutes to fully detangle it, and now I'm having to deal with this at the end. This bit was also knotted, but I've found the end and I've gradually been like rolling it up so that I can put it in my very cool skull yarn ball. This was a gift from my boyfriend, and it's so much nicer having the yarn, even when it's a mess. It looks better in here, and it stops it rolling around and falling off the sofa, which it often does. And we have a dog, so I don't really want it rolling around on the floor, you know. So yeah, we're nearly at the end of the second cake. I'll measure it when we run out of this knotted mess and see how we get on and see how much more we need. I've got 2 more cakes. I put a tape measure to the center and we are currently at about sort of 25 inches. This is about 63, 64 centimeters. I've just had a look at the previous clip where I measured how big the blanket was after 1 cake of yarn, and we were at 17 inches, so it's added about 8 inches with this second cake. So we must have finished about here, and the second cake has done this much extra. One thing I will note is that the second cake had a lot more colour pooling, I guess you could say, where we have like 2 rows that are the same. And so we've got some double purple here, we've got double black all the way around, we've got some double purple here, double orange here. I think this is like triple orange. There's like 1, 2, and then the single here, all in orange. Actually, we got a triple orange here as well. There's been more of that in that second row, but I think, second cake I mean, but I don't think it's like making it look too weird. The colour is obviously changing throughout. But yeah, we got 2 more cakes to go. Okay, so I've just had a look at these 2 cakes. I've just pulled out the centre of both of them to see what they start with, hoping that will make them less tangled if I can just leave them in the ball like this. But neither of them start with black. And obviously this one ended on black, and quite a small amount of black compared to like some of these other areas. And so I think the next colour after black is this like light orange. There's a section here where it changes to light orange. And obviously I've just done light purple, dark purple, and then it goes to the black. So I think the next colour is this light orange. So I think I'll just join this here. We'll just have a tiny little black section, and that also hopefully will stop it from catching up again. We're going to start with the orange and we're going to see what that looks like, and hopefully that doesn't catch up to this orange. That's my one concern. We will see. I have just encountered an issue, I think, with starting from the middle, because I say all of, the last 2 cakes that I worked with, I think I started from the outside, which now means if I start from the middle, the colours are in reverse order. So instead of going black to orange, it's now going orange to black. And that means I'm assuming the next colour will be a dark purple. So I don't know if that's going to look weird, if it will even be noticeable at all. And obviously now we're just going back to black here. So I've got this one orange corner with this one small black section here. So I don't know whether now to undo all of this orange I've just done and cut it and then attach this black to this black and just work with that, because now I'm going to end up with this whole black section being doubled up again. And I don't know what to do. I don't want to undo it all and attach the black. Oh my god, my hair. I don't want to undo it all and then attach the black and then have it all look weird again, you know? I guess we'll just carry on, because if the colours are reversed, at least that means once I'm past this black corner, it will go to purple next, so it won't overlap. I'm just going to carry on, I think, and see how we go. If I change my mind, I will let you know, but I think I'm just going to carry on and see how it turns out, because we have a couple of doubled up rows, you know, so I guess doubling up here on the black isn't going to be that big of a deal, realistically, in the grand scheme of things. It's not like this blanket has like a set pattern, you know. With a colour changing yarn, I have no control over when it changes. So hopefully this won't be like super noticeable. Okay, update time. It has been a few days since I last recorded an update for this. I just dropped the ball of yarn off the sofa. This is how much we have left. I feel like this is going to tangle now because it's been going so well. I did a centre pull this time. I managed to keep it in the label, and it's been going so good. I'm going to raise you up a little bit. It's been going so good. Not tangling, haven't needed my yarn bowl for it. It's just been really great. And then now, as I'm reaching the end of it, it is becoming a tangled mess. So I'm hoping it's not going to knot, but we've got a decent way through it. This is the third cake now, I think. I have one more left. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the fourth one because this is getting quite big now. I'm going off of the very first star blanket I made at the start of this year. I think I've shown it before in a previous clip. The grey one, this is the first one I made, and I've made it quite big. I made this one back in sort of February, March, April, can't remember. And it's so nice, like it's the perfect size to just like wrap around you and like have over your lap or whatever. So I've been basing this one off of the size of this one because I used 4 cakes of Hobbii Hurricane. Yeah, no, Hurricane. I always get the two mixed up. Hobbii Hurricane I will continue with this last little bit of yarn. I feel like it might be worth caking it up, but so far we have this much, and we shall continue. I've been a bit distracted for the last few days, so I haven't made a lot of progress. I flip between projects quite a bit because especially repetitive ones like this, I get a bit bored. And so I've been working on a market bag, a mesh market bag, and this is using Friends cotton 8/4 print, and this fits so nicely in my yarn bowl. It literally just sits in there. It's a center pull, so I can just literally just pull it out there, and it's so satisfying. Anyway, that's what I have been doing instead of this. I will lock back into this blanket to get it done, and I'll measure it again once I get to the end of this cake. I'm hoping this won't take too long. It doesn't look like a lot, and I'm hoping it doesn't tangle. If it does tangle, you'll know. I'll let you know. Anyway, that's all for now. So it's a bit later on. I have been out and we have come back to finish this. I am going to finish this. This is how much yarn we have left. It's literally just the two colours now. When I say finish, I mean this ball of yarn, and then I will measure it and we will decide whether or not I'm going to use the fourth and final ball, because it's getting pretty big, to be fair. We'll see how it goes. And then I will check back in when this tiny bit is gone. We are on the last stretch. Okay, so this is where this round started. I've just gone around this corner. We got this much. I only have this much yarn, and I have a feeling it might not quite reach, and if it doesn't, that'll be really annoying. If it does, great, because then I don't have to start another ball, or at least I might not have to start the next one. But I'm doing double crochets. I don't think it's going to reach. There's no chance this is reaching. How annoying. We're that far off. I'm gonna have to undo that last one probably as well, because that is not enough yarn to even join. That's so annoying. So, oh, okay. Anyway, I will put a stitch marker in that and we will come back to that. I need to measure this. Maybe I'll do a comparison of the Halloween blanket versus my grey one to see how close the size is, because that would be interesting to know, because I like this size and that's what I'm aiming for. So I'm going to clear a space here and then we will lay them both out. I'll get my measuring tape and we'll do some measuring and we'll see how it goes. So here is the blanket laid out. This is on the sofa, so it doesn't completely fit, but you can see the size difference here between the grey one and my Halloween one. So I could realistically use that last ball and just make it that little bit bigger, because then it wraps nicely. From the center to the point, we are now at about 31 inches, which is about 79-80 centimeters. Okay, so as you would have just seen, I do think I'm going to make this blanket a little bit bigger, which means I will be using this last ball of yarn. Annoyingly, because we're finishing on orange here, like this dark orange, I think I might have to start from the outside so I can join it with the same colour, because otherwise the middle starts with the light purple, and I think I've just used a light purple, so I don't really want to go back to a light purple. So I'm gonna have to do that and probably deal with a tangled mess again. That has been a running theme with this yarn, annoyingly. So we are going to see how we get on and hopefully add a few more inches to this. I did just measure the grey one, and from the centre to one of the points is about 39 inches. Which is 8 inches more than what this is currently measuring. So whether or not we can reach that, I'm not sure, but I think it's worth just using this one just to see how far we can get with it. I'll get started on that and I will update you with how we get on. Okay, so it's a different day now. I've made some progress. We are actually pretty close to finishing this blanket. This is all I have left of this yarn, and it looks a mess because the last bit of it just came completely untangled. So I have spent, I don't even know how long, trying to untangle this. I can't, this is where I've got to. And as you can see, I can't actually get any further until I've sorted out this knot. This is actually, I'm nearly there. I spent over an hour last night rolling this much, and I think I've been here for about an hour, and it's so close. It's like I've got to sort out this little orange tangle before I can continue the blanket, but we're so nearly there, and I'm hoping to finish it today, assuming I can sort this tangle out, because this is the most frustrating thing. I think I've had it tangle on every single cake of this yarn, which I haven't really experienced this much tangling with a yarn before, so that's interesting. Anyway, I only really popped on to give you this update. I'm gonna continue detangling this little tiny bit of yarn, and then we will continue. Okay, we are back on track. My partner was great and helped me untangle this yarn that was driving me nuts. He spent his time here tediously undoing the knots and stuff, so I really appreciate that. And he's wrapped it all up on a little toilet roll tube so that it won't knot up again. So this is where I'm currently working from. There's actually not a lot left, so I reckon we can finish it today. The blanket's getting like nicely big now, so I'll finish up what I've got here and then I can show you the finished blanket and we'll do some final measurements and everything, and yeah, back on track, and hopefully it won't all tangle up again. So I just thought I'd do a little bit of an update. I did get to the end of the tube, but the last colour stopped a bit short of the beginning. So we've got the marker here to sort of say this is the start of the row. And the point where I ran out was sort of about halfway on the previous one. So I have undone it. I also thought, oh, maybe I can make it up by using a bit of excess that I had cut off of the first ball, I think. It was this bit of orange that I cut off. I tried to do that, but then I ended up with like a small section of light purple and then a small section of the orange, and I still didn't meet the end. So I had to add a bit of black as well. And I just didn't like how it was looking. It was a bit too patchworky because all the other sections are like quite long, and it just didn't look quite right. So what I've done, I have unwound it all. I've cut out this is the last colour that was on it, the light purple, and then it's joined to the orange that I cut off of the first ball because there was like a decent amount of it. I didn't really want to waste it. And so what I'm thinking to avoid that kind of small section patchwork is I've unwound it until we've reached the light purple, and you can kind of see it naturally joins that dark orange. So I'm going to cut it here, join the purple end to this purple, and then when I get to the end of this orange, I'll join the orange, and it should all sync up. I still don't think it will reach, and I might still need some of that black, but at least it will look more cohesive, I think. So that's the plan, and I'm hoping it's going to work and look okay. So I'm gonna cut this purple here. I was really hoping I wouldn't have to cut it, so I didn't have all these like weird ends, but hey ho. I'm just joining it with a magic knot, and there's plenty of videos on YouTube on how to do that if you are at all curious. I've never had an issue with the magic knot coming undone, so I'm hoping this will be no different. I'm also going to join the other end while I'm at it, just so then I don't have to do this later on, and I can just work with it all in one piece. I think that'll be the easiest way to do it. So here's the final measurement of this blanket. We are currently at about 92 centimeters from the center. And just because I've done every measurement in inches as well, the measurement is currently at about 36 inches. The end is here. You can't really see it because it's black on black, but we're at 36 inches from the middle. Here is the final blanket. It is literally taller than me, so it's pretty big, but it just means that it's like a great like snuggly blanket, so you can completely wrap yourself in it, and it's very cozy. So I'm very pleased with the size and glad I used all 4 of those cakes. I'm actually really pleased with how it looks, but I will not be keeping it. This blanket is going to be up for sale on my Etsy, only because I prefer the grey one more. The colour changes in this one is much more gradual, whereas this one the colours change quite suddenly, and it's not really my taste. I'm not super keen on that, like where it suddenly changes halfway through. I also don't really have anywhere to store another blanket. So if you're in the UK and you like how this turned out and you want to get your hands on it, take a look at my Etsy. It will be linked in the description box below. I also have some other items available on there if you fancy taking a look. But yeah, that's everything for this video at least. Thank you so much for watching. This has taken me so much longer than I thought it would. I'm so not used to any of this. So if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!